if I'm not training, I'll be up in the morning, probably 6 a.m. in the morning. I'll go for my runs, even on non-training days, and then I'll have my breakfast. And it depends if it's a day where I have something on, like an event I have to attend, then I'll prepare for it. But if not, I'll just spend time with my loved ones, my family, have a good meal, and probably learn something new. Well, usually like during the fight days, that's the time where I'll show up, I'll perform, I'll do my very best. But prior to the event day, prior to the match, that's where I have most of my bad days. The training camps. Training camps are dark, it's lonely, it's hard, there's a lot of sacrifice. So sometimes you have things that doesn't go your way during training. So how I motivate myself and overcome it is to think of the positivity that will come out of it. That how do I overcome adversity? So that's one of the things that I overcome. Well, number one, like boxing has always been a part of me since I was young. My mom is a huge fan of the late Muhammad Ali. So boxing has always been there, but since growing up in Malaysia, boxing is not a culture in Malaysia, but I've always been an athletic kid. So I don't know where to channel my energy when I was young. So football was the first thing because everyone was doing it here. So I started playing for the school, for the district, for the state, and then I earned myself a professional contract. But when I was playing football professionally, I thought to myself, if I'm gonna train every day, 6 times a week for football, why don't I pursue something that I love since I was a kid, which is boxing. Well, of course, there's violence, it's brutal, and risk of death. But of course, if you can achieve in boxing, if you look at it from afar, it's a beautiful sport. Okay, like firstly, like like I said before, like I've always been an athlete, right? So athlete teaches you discipline, right? So I've always been a good student. That's true. I've always been a good student. I'll sit right in front of the class. But you're a kid, of course, you do get into troubles from time to time, with be it in football matches or in school during lunchtime. But I've always been a good, hardworking student. The most important thing is heart. They need to have the heart, the fighting spirit to overcome adversity, to fight their way. If things are not going their way at that particular time, they just have to find a way. So heart plays a big role in pursuing something that is not common in society. So heart, will, and desire. But if you want to progress, the best thing is intelligence. Once you've equipped yourself with the heart, with the will, desire, then intelligence comes in. Well, example, like a musician, right? When they're about to go up on stage, they'll be having nerves and butterflies because they are performing their craft in front of audiences, right? But they'll be expressing themselves, right? But in the case of boxing, I want to get stage fright, but it's nearly impossible because you won't be thinking so much about the audiences, about the crowd, about the atmosphere, because you'll be so in tune in thinking, how do I avoid getting hurt by the guy who's there to hurt you? So your main focus is to be safe, is to think. When I get into the ring, on the stage, how do I dismantle my opponent. Yeah. So. If you ask anyone in my team, especially my brother Arif, he'll know. The week before the fight, I'll be relaxed. I won't think so much about the fight. But once I reach the arena and I get my hands wrapped up, so that is the time where I'm usually very quiet. I'll have I'll gather my thoughts. I'll be replaying the things, visualizing the things that might happen and what I want it to happen. And then, so I'll usually be quiet, but at the same time, my brother, Arif, he's also a singer-songwriter, so he plays his music. So his music, one of the music, The Wolf, it gives me the motivation that, you know what, I'm not just doing this for myself, I'm doing this for him, for my family. It's a team, so it makes me closer to home whenever that song is played. So far, as a kid growing up, I used to look up to Senator Manny Pacquiao. I used to have posters of his fights and his wallpapers in my room. So like having the opportunity to be handpicked to be making my homecoming fight here on the undercard of Manny Pacquiao and Lucas Matisse is the biggest moment for myself. Even if one day I'll be a world champion, I will forever cherish that moment because to be fighting on the undercard of your idol, and also at the same time make an appearance in front of the Malaysian public, it's memorable for me, especially being victorious. So it's a sweet moment. Yeah. Well, the ultimate goal is to be a world champion. So that's all me and my team and my family were working towards. So we go by fight, but the more we fight, the more we win. We are so close to our goals. So the ultimate goal is to be a world champion.